Hello everyone, it is me Vegeta T23 and welcome back to my new What If. Today we're talking about what if Saiyans and Tuffles had an agreement. Before I start, I'd like to mention that I created a Discord server for you to join. The link is in the description of this video, so if you'd like to join in and talk to me and the rest of my fans, it's there. I'd also like to mention that I created an Instagram so you can survey my very uninteresting life. I mainly post OSU stuff. Now back to the video. In the last part, we discussed the events after Buu Saga and the peacetime that went on Earth. Kid Vegeta, wait, he isn't really a kid anymore. Vegeta Jr. and Videl marry, and Hercule gives them a neat little house. Bulma's birthday is also coming up, and it's on a giant cruiser. The birthday is going quite well up until Supreme Kai crashes in and tells them about Beerus coming to Earth. Some people faint, and some are clueless. All that kind of diffuses when Beerus arrives, and he's actually quite chill for a while until he asks for a Super Saiyan God. Broly is then challenged to fight against Beerus, and while he does do quite well, he doesn't even hold a candle as of yet. Broly is then chosen to be a Super Saiyan God after they ask Shenron about it. Broly is now a Super Saiyan God and ready to fight. He fares a lot better than Ken and Goku, being legendary and all, but manages to fail by losing all the power. Beerus pretends to sleep and the two gods then leave. Whis comes back to taste Earth food, and Vegeta then asks to be trained by him. In no time, Vegeta, Broly and Kakarot are training with Whis, and meanwhile, Frieza is finally doing something with his life after being on idle for so long, so both Frieza and the Saiyans are training. 10 months later, Frieza goes to Earth and the Saiyans are actually aware, so they go take care of business. Vegeta goes first and bodies Frieza, but Frieza pulls out a reverse card and destroys Earth. After Whis told him he can reverse time, he does so, and the Saiyans straight up just fire a massive combined blast and obliterate Frieza. The Earth was saved and Bardock joined Whis' training program. During training on Beerus' world, Champa comes over and proposes a tournament, with Beerus accepting. They eventually set everything up and the tournament is starting. With the recap out of the way, let's continue the what if. They begin a tournament. First, the fight is of course Kakarot and Botamo, and he wins in a similar fashion of the original, except he didn't set in his meal first, he just went for it. But on the other hand, he just prolonged the fight for a bit longer. Next up is Frost against Kakarot, and Kakarot points out that Frost looks just like Frieza, but the personality seemingly looks a whole lot different. For now, at least. Kakarot and Frost then begin their fights, and the second it starts, Kakarot berates Frost for not using his final form. Frost abides by that and goes full power. Kakarot can now finally use something more than his base form. He then goes head to head with Frost, and Frost is landing pretty powerful punches actually. Kakarot then gets dizzy all of a sudden, falls out of Super Saiyan and faints. Everyone in the bleachers are surprised that Kakarot, the one who is one of the most powerful among them, can fall just like that. Kakarot then wakes up and Frost tries to raise his hand like in the original, but Kakarot knows what he has done and whips away his arm. He looks at his arm and sees a bloody spot, and then shouts out Frost has an unfair advantage. Jocko then examines Frost and finds a poison needle. Frost is then disqualified. It is also revealed that Frost is just as Frieza, but a bit smarter. So that means Kakarot is back in the tournament. Next up is Vegeta on his Kakarot's wish list to die, and Kakarot takes him on pretty much the same way as Vegeta did in the original. Then, Cabba's turn is up, and Cabba says he can't really go Super Saiyan after a little bit of fighting. So Kakarot takes a similar approach as Vegeta to the original to teach him. But since he never berated and roasted someone to the breaking point, it takes a good while. Everyone is weirded out by it and questions Kakarot's actions. However, Kakarot knows exactly what he's doing and continues doing so. Then threatens Cabba that if he doesn't get his shit together, there's no way in the world he will win, and how he's a pathetic weakling and all that. How people like him were killed as well as their families. That very sentence stuck into Cabba's head, and he then snapped, transforming into a Super Saiyan. Cabba charged at Kakarot, and they both seemed to get their mark. Cabba was pissed as hell, and Kakarot tried calming him down, but Cabba had literally none of it. After a lot of fighting, Cabba regained some composure, and Kakarot used the opportunity to tell him how he did it, because that's one way to transform. Cabba actually listened and reverted back due to confusion. Kakarot asked him to try doing it again, and Cabba transformed successfully with no issues at all. Kakarot then went Super Saiyan 3 to show him the full extent of the Super Saiyan transformation and knocked out Cabba, and told him to train hard before he tapped out. With that, Kakarot has gone his first student instead of Vegeta. The last fighter was none other than Hit, and Kakarot was so ready to fight him. Kakarot went Super Saiyan and started to attack Hit, but that didn't even phase the assassin. Kakarot then went Super Saiyan God and started to fight him again, but even with a considerable increase in strength, he stood no chance. Kakarot then went Super Saiyan Blue, and only then he grabbed an edge. He then did an improvement, and he managed to increase his time skip he likes to use so much, and started bullying Kakarot. After Kakarot has had enough, he then did something no one has ever even thought was possible, surpassing the Super Saiyan Blue, going into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Hit then had no chance against now overpowered Kakarot. Vegeta and pretty much the rest of the Saiyans were jealous and impressed at the same time with Kakarot's performance. With a simple right hook through the time skip, Kakarot knocked Hit out from the tournament. The bleachers on the Universe 7 side were raving, except for the competitors who didn't even get the chance to fight. Beerus and Champa eventually got into an argument, but before they could do any damage, Zeno appeared, and was slightly mad he didn't get to see the fight. The Saiyans have noticed everyone is trembling with fear, but they are confused as to why is that child so dangerous. Zeno asked why they didn't invite him to the fight, so he can see it. Beerus was cowering in fear, and could barely speak, but then Kakarot and Vegeta appeared behind them and, with due respect, asked if he'd like them to host another tournament, and Zeno was more than happy. He even showed compassion towards the two daring Saiyans. After Zeno left, they were berated by Beerus, of course. They said they knew, but they just proposed it, and it turns out they actually did succeed. They return back home, and the first thing they do is train at Beerus' planet. Bardock has mastered God Ki and is now able to turn Super Saiyan Blue with the help of Whis. Now he can actually keep up with his Saiyan friends. Back on Earth, everyone was just chilling when a time machine appeared out of nowhere. They knew who it was. They opened up the time machine and set future Vegeta on the table so he regains consciousness. Kakarot and Vegeta are then informed, and so Whis then took them there. Future Vegeta did regain consciousness, but then hyperventilated a little. But after seeing that it's not his timeline, he calmed down. Whis, Beerus, Vegeta, Broly, Bardock, and Kakarot arrived, and future Vegeta mistook Broly for someone else and attacked him, but to no effect. Kakarot then smacked him across his head, and Vegeta came back to his senses and apologized. He then explained what happened to his timeline, and you all know where this is going. Broly Black. At that moment, Broly Black appears from his rift and sees future Vegeta and the rest to who he fled to. Instead of Broly going to face Black, it's actually Kakarot, and the battle commences. Kakarot turns Super Saiyan and starts trashing Black for a while. Black then abuses his powers and gets a boost. Black then gets stronger with every blow. After bit by bit, the rift starts reacting and starts pulling Broly back through, but he still continues to fight and observe. Kakarot then turns Super Saiyan 2 and then starts trashing Black once again. Time Rift reacts again and starts pulling Black through, but before he gets pulled through, he destroys the time machine. With that, Broly Black is gone. Vegeta is mad because the time machine is gone, and they're thinking on how they're going to repair it. But then Bulma remembers the old time machine, so she goes, finds it, and starts repairing it. And with that, we're leaving things be for now. Thank you for watching. if I should stream this weekend or something, then click dislike. But if you like the video, hit that like button. If you'd like me to cover your idea in the near future, comment down below. And as always, peace out.